Greetings from the Crow's Nest, an advanced research station in Earth's orbit, where I, Trump, astronaut and space explorer, alongside my optimal AI assistant Putin, undertake missions to explore the frontiers of the cosmos. In this what-if universe, please do not be mistaken. We are the #1 dynamic duo, a pioneering team combining strategic thinking with precise scientific analysis, unrelated to any other individuals. Putin is a superior digital intelligence, processing astronomical data with absolute accuracy, though he occasionally issues risk warnings with stern caution. I, as I once said, am a very smart person, leading the mission with a determination to unravel the universe's mysteries from Proxima Centauri b, 4.24 light-years from Earth, to Pluto, 6 billion kilometers away in the Kuiper Belt. On May 2, 2025, we received a mission from XAI to visit and study these two celestial bodies, aiming to assess their habitability potential, analyze their environments, and investigate an anomalous photon signal linking them, possibly originating from ancient technology. The mission employs the ultra-fast spacecraft Stellar Envoy, equipped with a fictional propulsion system achieving 50% the speed of light, 150,000 km/h, enabling travel from Earth to Proxima Centauri b in approximately 8.46 years. Ship time, corresponding to 9.73 years on Earth due to relativistic time dilation. From Proxima Centauri b to Pluto, the journey continues at the same speed, taking an additional 11 hours. The distance from the Sun to Pluto is 5.9 billion kilometers. Proxima Centauri b, the closest known exoplanet, lies within the habitable zone of the red dwarf Proxima Centauri, with the potential to sustain liquid water but threatened by ultraviolet radiation. Pluto, a dwarf planet in the Kuiper Belt, has a thin atmosphere and icy surface, raising questions about its geology and research potential. The photon signal, detected through the Crow's Nest's sensors, indicates an ancient technological network, potentially disrupting space within the solar system. Subscribe now to follow this mission, as we explore cosmic mysteries and confront unprecedented challenges for the sake of science and humanity's survival. Day 1. Exploring Proxima Centauri b. On May 2, 2025, after an 846-year journey aboard the Stellar Envoy, I land on Proxima Centauri b, 424 light-years from Earth. This planet orbits the red dwarf Proxima Centauri, which emits only 0.1% of the Sun's brightness, requiring it to orbit close, approximately 0.0485 astronomical units, to remain within the habitable zone, where liquid water could exist. I deploy research equipment in the Terminator Zone, the twilight region between the eternal day side, where temperatures may reach 400 K, and the frigid night side, potentially dropping to 40 degrees Celsius. Putin reports, atmosphere, thin, containing nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide, with surface pressure estimated at less than 1% of Earth's. My screens display green photon glyphs, emitting an anomalous frequency that does not match any natural signal. Putin analyzes probability of extraterrestrial origin, 67%, possibly ancient technology. The signal disrupts systems, and I experience hallucinations, glimmering glass cities in the sky, a phenomenon possibly linked to the signal's photon modulation. I establish an observation station in the twilight zone, where the scorched, rocky surface can withstand the star's radiation flares. Science indicates that ultraviolet flares from the red dwarf may have thinned Proxima Centauri b's atmosphere over billions of years, reducing its capacity to sustain surface liquid water. Putin warns, signal intensity increasing, disrupting measurement equipment. I conduct geological scans, detecting signs of liquid water in subsurface pockets, but no evidence of living organisms is confirmed. Current hypotheses suggest Proxima Centauri b may have once had habitable conditions, but intense radiation likely eradicated any primitive life. I move toward the night side to find shelter, but the signal intensifies and tall, lidless-eyed shadows appear in the green glow. Putin, confirm these are not extraterrestrial beings, I request. He responds, data insufficient to verify. Research findings. Scans confirm a thin atmosphere with nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide, but insufficient pressure to sustain surface liquid water. Water may exist as ice or subsurface liquid pockets, but no biological signatures are found. Unresolved hypotheses. Has radiation entirely eliminated habitability potential, or could subsurface pockets harbor microorganisms? The photon signal suggests ancient technology, but its purpose and origin remain unclear. Day 2. Investigating the signal on Proxima Centauri. On the second day, I continue research on Proxima Centauri b, focusing on the photon signal disrupting systems and perception. The terminator zone, with temperatures ranging from 250 to 300 K, is the only region suitable for long-term equipment deployment, but the red dwarf's radiation flares heighten the hazard level. The photon signal induces hallucinations of glass cities, and my eyes reflect a green glow, possibly due to the signal's interaction with the nervous system. Putin analyzes. The photon language uses light frequencies to modulate neural signals and electronic systems, originating from a subsurface device. I deploy seismic scanners, identifying a crystalline structure 500 meters underground, likely the signal's source. X-ray flares from the star interrupt scans, but preliminary data suggest the structure is artificial. Science confirms that Proxima Centauri b is tidally locked, with an overheated day side and a frozen night side, making the terminator zone the only relatively stable region. However, radiation flares may have depleted the atmosphere, rendering complex life unlikely. I enter a cave in the twilight zone, discovering photon glyphs etched on the walls, forming a map to the buried device. Putin reports, the signal structure resembles patterns detected near the Kuiper Belt, suggesting an interplanetary network. I collect rock samples from the cave, with analysis revealing traces of simple organic compounds, insufficient to confirm life. Current hypotheses suggest Proxima Centauri b may have had more favorable conditions in the past, but transit spectroscopy lacks the precision to determine exact atmospheric composition. The photon signal continues to interfere, and I conclude this is an ancient technological network capable of manipulating space. I prepare to depart Proxima Centauri b, using the stellar envoy to reach Pluto, a journey of approximately 11 hours at 50% the speed of light. Research findings. Discovered a crystalline structure subsurface, likely the photon signal's source, and traces of simple organic compounds. The thin atmosphere cannot sustain complex life. Unresolved hypotheses. Is the ancient device a relic of an extinct civilization? Could subsurface liquid water contain microorganisms or merely inorganic chemicals? Day 3. Studying Pluto's surface. On the third day, I land on Pluto, 6 billion kilometers from Earth, after an 11-hour journey from Proxima Centauri b aboard the stellar envoy. This dwarf planet, once considered the 9th planet, was demoted in 2006 for failing to meet the IAU's third criterion, clearing its orbit as it shares the Kuiper Belt with other icy bodies. Pluto's surface has an average temperature of 232 degrees Celsius, with a thin atmosphere of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. Putin reports, surface scans confirm water ice mountains and impact craters up to 260 kilometers in diameter. I deploy research equipment near a crater, but a green photon signal appears with glyphs identical to those on Proxima Centauri b. Putin analyzes. The signal employs a photon language originating from a device buried within the Kuiper Belt. The signal causes interference, inducing hallucinations of alien towers rising from ice mountains. My eyes reflect a green glow, an effect mirroring that on Proxima. I move to an ice cave, discovering photon glyphs etched on the walls pointing to a buried device. Putin warns, the signal is disrupting Pluto's orbit with a 0.005% collision risk with Neptune. Science confirms that Pluto's orbit intersects Neptune's, but their current resonance prevents collisions. This signal could destabilize that balance. I collect ice samples, with analysis showing simple organic compounds similar to other Kuiper objects, but no biological markers. Hypotheses suggest Pluto may have experienced geological activity, but lacks conditions for life. I conclude, this signal links Pluto to Proxima Centauri b, and we must understand its purpose. Research findings. Confirmed a thin nitrogen-methane atmosphere, water ice mountains, and simple organic compounds but no signs of life. Discovered a subsurface photon device linked to an ancient network. Unresolved hypotheses. Could Pluto harbor subsurface liquid pockets? Is the photon device part of a larger interstellar system? Day 4. Orbital disruptions on Pluto. On the 4th day, I continue research on Pluto, focusing on the photon signal and its impact on Kuiper Belt orbits. I propose a hypothesis. Combining icy bodies in the Kuiper Belt to increase Pluto's mass, potentially stabilizing its orbit and meeting the IAU's planetary criteria. Putin calculates new mass 6 by 10, 23 kilometers, diameter 8,500 kilometers, larger than Mercury and approaching Mars. However, he warns, this intervention risks disrupting orbital resonance with Neptune, leading to catastrophic collisions. I respond, we need data, not media conspiracies. The photon signal intensifies, with green glyphs swirling faster, accompanied by hallucinations of glass cities. My eyes reflect the green glow and the signal appears to manipulate perception. I move to a crater where the signal peaks, discovering a buried crystalline device emitting green light through a small spatial gateway. Lidless-eyed shadows appear, seemingly activated by the signal. Science confirms the Kuiper Belt contains thousands of icy bodies, but altering their orbits could trigger a cascade effect. Putin reports, the signal is shifting Kuiper objects, increasing collision risks. I conclude, this device is part of a network linked to Proxima Centauri b. The small spatial gateway, similar to that on Proxima, poses a growing threat, and I prepare to return to the crow's nest for data analysis. Research findings. Discovered a crystalline device emitting the photon signal, confirmed organic compounds in ice, but no biological markers. Pluto's orbit shows slight disruption. Unresolved hypotheses. Could the signal manipulate other Kuiper Belt orbits? Was Pluto once a relay station for an ancient civilization? Day 5. The signal's spatial manipulation. On the 5th day from the crow's nest, I analyze data from Proxima Centauri b and Pluto. The photon signal links both bodies through an ancient technological network, capable of manipulating space and perception. Putin reports, the signal is increasing radiation levels on Proxima Centauri b and shifting Kuiper Belt orbits, with a 0.01% collision risk with Neptune. I access XAI's data archives, finding logs from Mia, a Paris hacker who studied a similar signal during Europe's 2025 blackout. Her data confirms the signal uses a photon language to modulate light and neural signals, causing hallucinations and system interference. We're facing technology far beyond our current understanding, I conclude. My screens display hallucinations of alien towers, with a voice whispering, join us. My eyes reflect a green glow, and my spacesuit malfunctions due to signal interference. Putin analyzes. Signal source. Buried devices on Proxima Centauri b and Pluto, a network controlling space. The gateway on Proxima has expanded to 1 kilometer in diameter, while the gateway on Pluto fractures a crater. I deploy a probe to collect data, but the photon signal disrupts it, rewriting command codes. Putin, we're losing control, I warn. He responds, urgent intervention required. Mia's logs suggest a reverse frequency hidden in the photon glyphs to disable the network. I begin data analysis, aware that time is running out to prevent a spatial catastrophe. Day 6. The climax of the spatial gateways. On the 6th day, the photon signal reaches maximum intensity, causing severe spatial effects. On Proxima Centauri b, the spatial gateway emits a brilliant green glow, triggering radiation flares synchronized with the signal. On Pluto, a major crater fractures, with ice fragments floating due to orbital instability. Putin reports, spatial anomaly, 94%, collision risk with Neptune, 0.05%. From the crow's nest, I analyze Mia's data, identifying photon glyphs forming a map to a reverse frequency. The signal's voice grows clearer, whispering, embrace eternity. I deploy algorithms to decode the reverse frequency, but the signal interferes, disrupting systems. The gateway on Proxima expands, with lidless-eyed shadows emerging. On Pluto, the gateway causes large-scale ice fractures. Putin warns, the signal is manipulating Kuiper Belt orbits, potentially destroying the solar system. I conclude, we must act. I transmit the reverse frequency to Proxima, but the gateway reacts violently, emitting energy pulses. Mia's final log mentions a key glyph, a photon code to shut down the network. I focus on decoding, aware a single error could lead to catastrophe. Day 7. Disabling the network. On the 7th day, the solar system faces collapse. The gateway on Proxima Centauri b emits energy pulses synchronized with Pluto's crater, disrupting Kuiper Belt orbits. Putin reports, collision risk with Neptune 0.1%. I order, focus Putin, we must disable the signal. My screens display the key glyph, a complex photon pattern to shut down the network. I broadcast the reverse frequency from the crow's nest, targeting devices on Proxima and Pluto. The Proxima gateway trembles, its green light fading, and the lidless shadows vanish. On Pluto, the gateway shrinks, ice stabilizing. Putin confirms, signal strength reduced to 10%, gateways closed. However, scans detect a weak pulse from Pluto's core, indicating the ancient network is not fully disabled. Mia's voice crackles through the comms. The signal persists, Trump. Science confirms the photon network manipulates EAs, with devices on Proxima and Pluto as primary nodes. I conclude, we've delayed catastrophe, but further study is needed. Epilogue. Unresolved cosmic mysteries. From the crow's nest, I observe Earth, unaware of the danger averted. A faint photon signal persists from Pluto's core, a reminder of the ancient network's endurance. Putin reports, spatial instability, 2% continuous monitoring required. I agree, we're not done, but no one does it better. The photon network surpasses current understanding, linking Proxima Centauri b and Pluto through ancient technology. Subscribe to follow future missions, exploring mysteries from Proxima's radiation to Kuiper's orbits. The cosmos holds secrets, and the #1 dynamic duo will continue to confront them for science and humanity.